Welcome back, Sebastian here. Time for my review of the 2024 Hungarian Grand Prix. So, action on track, not the most exciting, but definitely a lot of drama. McLaren almost had their multi 21 moment, but luckily things didn't get that bad. Norris started on pole, Piastri P2. Gasly was starting from the pit lane, changed a bunch of parts on the car. The top six were all starting on mediums, the Aston Martins on the softs, and Perez and Russell started on the hard tire. And it was expected two-stop strategy. Piastri, very good start, takes the lead into the first corner, squeezes down the inside. Norris was very, very fair, left him basically a car's width on the inside and didn't pull a Schumacher in 2010 there. Verstappen basically tries to go around the outside and just kind of goes off into the runoff area on the outside of turn 1, keeps the throttle planted and takes P2 with Norris P3. And then what follows is basically both Verstappen and Norris basically just jockeying on the radio, saying, "Oh, I was in the right, oh, he went off track, oh, he pushed me off," that kind of thing. And then Verstappen was noted for that next lap. Lap 3, Sainz overtook Alonso for P6 after Alonso got a good start and beat Sainz off the line. Hülkenberg was in the pits as well. Wasn't sure what happened there. Might have been a puncture. Lap 4, Verstappen lets Norris pass in turn 2. Lap 7, Albon starts a pit cycle with Alonso 5.3 off Sainz, showing just how much of a gap there was pace-wise between those top 4 teams and the Aston Martins, who are really the 5th team today. Lap 9, the Piastri-Norris gap is 2.6 seconds. Lap 11, that gap grows to 3 seconds. Lap 15, Stroll gets undercut by Albon and Magnussen, but luckily for him, he was able to use that pace advantage of pitting a bit later to overtake them on track. Lap 17, Hamilton, the first leader to pit. Lap 21, Verstappen trying to extend that stint on medium and would be eventually undercut by Hamilton, but probably figured we have the tire pace, basically the tires are going to be in better condition, we'll be able to overtake on track afterwards. Lap 22, Verstappen and Sainz pit. Verstappen 6 seconds behind Hamilton at this point. Lap 27, Alonso overtakes Hülkenberg for P11 at turn 1. Lap 28, Stroll also overtakes Hülkenberg for P12 at turn 1. Lap 29, Perez pits and comes out 15th, so not a fantastic opening stint in terms of position gained. Only really gained 2 positions from that starting position, gained 1 position from the starting position. But now he's on much faster tires, much fresher tires as well, so had a massive pace advantage over the cars directly in front of him, and showed that by overtaking Bottas for P12. Lap 31, Piastri, 4.3 second buffer to Norris. Perez then overtakes Magnussen for P11 at turn 1. But Piastri's buffer suddenly decreased, and it looks like he kind of had a bit of a scruffy moment on the exit of turn 12, I believe, or exit of turn 11, I believe it is. But not a big deal there for Piastri. Gasly, unfortunately for him, after the pit lane start with the new parts, told to retire the car. So another weekend for Gasly that's been pretty much an abject disaster. After Silverstone, the last weekend was also pretty much a write-off for him as well. Verstappen tries to overtake Hamilton at turn 2, goes wide. Lap 37, Perez overtakes Stroll for P8 at turn 1. So Perez has made up a lot of ground at this point, and at this point was basically getting through the Aston Martins. So that second stint on the medium tire, I believe it was, very, very good stint from Perez. Lap 38, Verstappen back up to the back of Hamilton. After he had made, when he tried to overtake Hamilton the last time, he went a bit wide and he lost, I think, 3 to 4 seconds. So lap 38 was able to get that time back. Lap 41, Hamilton pits, Leclerc does too, and Verstappen is absolutely losing it on the radio at this point, and is very angry that they let themselves be undercut twice in a row, because for whatever reason Verstappen was just not able to get the pace out of the car and overtake Hamilton on track. Lap 46, Norris pits, and this is where things start to go sideways. Not necessarily sideways for McLaren, but they definitely get much more tense. McLaren decided to pit Norris in front of Piastri, and they'd done this for the first stop as well. But for the first stop, it didn't matter too much because for whatever reason, the undercut wasn't as strong. I guess going from the medium tire to the hard tire, but I think this time they're going back to the medium tire, so the faster tire. Norris pits, and I realized basically within like a sector or two that Norris was gonna undercut Piastri, and that's exactly what happens. Norris takes the lead when Piastri pitted like 2 to 3 laps later, and what apparently they thought was happening was McLaren seemed to be quite concerned that Norris could get undercut by Hamilton, who had of course pitted on lap 41. I think when he came out there was like a 4-second gap, so I think honestly they could have just done things the other way around, pitted Piastri that lap, pitted Norris the following lap, and they would have been fine in all likelihood. They would have also saved themselves a lot of drama that happened in the following 15 laps, or 25 laps. Lap 50, Verstappen pits, comes out 5th. Lap 52, the Norris-Piastri gap, 3.5 seconds. Lap 53, it's 2.9 seconds. Lap 54, Verstappen is livid on the radio about the strategy. Lap 55, Verstappen trying to overtake Leclerc. Lap 56, McLaren is trying to plead over the radio to Norris to get him to slow down so that they can swap positions between him and Piastri, because I guess I understand why Norris did not want to do this. You know, every F1 driver wants to win. They never want to give up a win. My guess is that McLaren, because their drivers are both very good, and because they want to keep harmony within the team as good as possible and try to avoid a situation like they had in 2007 with Alonso and Hamilton, a multi-21, even like how things kind of went downhill between Hamilton and Rosberg towards the end. They probably had very, very clear instructions going into the race, going into this weekend, that, you know, at a certain stage, the driver who is leading will be the one who wins the race, regardless of what happens with strategy. And my guess is that, I don't know when that is. Well, I guess we may find out from, you know, Andrea Stella. But, you know, I know at Mercedes, for example, when they were dominating those 3 years, 2014, 15, 16, traditionally it was a driver who was ahead going after the first lap, who was basically the lead driver, and would get preferential strategy for the rest of the Grand Prix. So, yeah, lap 57, Verstappen does eventually overtake Leclerc for turn 1 for P4. Lap 60, Norris-Piastri gap, 4.4 seconds. Lap 62, Verstappen on the back of Hamilton. Verstappen, I guess, not having the best of races today, went very deep at turn 1, ends up clipping Hamilton. He goes airborne because of his tire-to-tire contact. Probably got some kind of suspension damage, but luckily for Verstappen, able to continue. Hamilton, very luckily for him, no damage as well. I think that was mostly on Verstappen. I doubt they'll give him a penalty afterwards for that. I think they'll just be like, don't do that again kind of thing. Yeah, but Verstappen loses a position because of that and ends up dropping behind Leclerc. And Norris-Piastri gap 6 seconds. So I'm like, at this point, Norris is probably just going to win the Grand Prix. And even if they did swap positions, you know, it's kind of regrettable that, you know, it's not the best, you know, it's not the best situation, ideal situation that you'd want to be winning your first Grand Prix and basically winning because of team orders. But turns out that's exactly what would happen. Lap 68, Piastri is let past by Norris, basically on the main straight. Norris just slows right down. Piastri sails past him, and yeah, that's all she wrote. Piastri takes the checkered flag, his first Grand Prix win, followed home by Lando Norris P2. You know, very sportsmanlike move by Norris, letting him pass. Clearly was not happy about it, which I think is very much understandable. Hamilton comes home P3, gets his 200th podium of the career. Good milestone for him. P4 Leclerc, P5 Verstappen, P6 Sainz, P7 Perez, P8 Russell, P9 Tsunoda, P10 Stroll. Stroll let pass by Alonso to try to attack because he was on slightly better tires. Didn't get the position back, but honestly I don't think Alonso really cares. Lap 12th Ricciardo, 13th Hulkenberg, 14th Albon, 15th Magnussen, 16th Bottas, 17th Sargent, 18th Ocon, 19th Joe, and your one DNF was Gasly, who retired quite early in the Grand Prix. Taking a look at the championship standings, Verstappen of course still leads 265 points, Norris second 189. That gap is now 76 points. Still, you know, too big to really have a conversation about the Drivers' Championship at this point, but if they can be the best team for the remainder of the season, Red Bull's struggling, Verstappen is kind of struggling like he was today. I think Drivers' Championship, there might be something going into towards the end of the season, but still, at this point, still too early to really, think too much about it. Third, Leclerc 162, fourth, Sainz 154, fifth, Piastri 149, sixth, Hamilton 125, gets past Perez, who drops to seventh with 124, eighth, Russell 116, ninth, Alonso 45, 10th, Stroll 24, 11th, Hulkenberg 22, 12th, Tsunoda 22, 13th, Ricciardo 11, 14th, Berman 6, 15th, Gasly also on 6, 16th, Magnussen on 5, 17th, Albon on 4, O'Connor on 3 points, and then Joe, Sargent, Bottas all on 0 points. So there you go. There's my review of the 2024 Hungarian Grand Prix. I think one that's definitely going to provide, there's going to be a lot of discussion about this Grand Prix, I think, online, and I think in the weeks and months to come. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.